Hello everybody and welcome back to the Joe Tom Red Sports YouTube channel with me, Joe Tom Red. Now today we're going to be taking a look at Watford because of course they have just sacked manager Claudio Ranieri after just 3 months in charge and replaced him with former England manager Roy Hodgson. Now this is coming for quite a bit of widespread criticism. I've seen a few Watford fans saying, what have we done? And quite a few opposition fans just basically putting like laughing emojis on things like social media posts and things like that. But I think it's actually a smart move by Watford. I think a lot of people look at the Watford model of hiring and firing managers and basically just laugh at that, to be honest. And of course, I'm not going to go too much into that because a lot has been said over the last 3-4 years about the way that Watford operate with managers, just bringing them in and firing them and things like that. And I'm sure even Watford fans are probably at the stage where they even agree now where, you know, they really need to stop doing it. They can't keep doing it. You know, it's not sustainable, basically. Like, obviously, Watford are putting it in, firing their managers so quickly because they're looking for that bounce, you know, the new manager bounce. So I think we all agree on that. And it's happened quite a few times, to be fair. They stayed in the Premier League for several years and, you know, we'll probably attribute to the way that they treat managers by staying in the Premier League because some managers would have definitely taken them down. They got rid of them. They ended up staying up. If you are a player and you know a manager's only coming in for a few months, like, oh, well, if you don't go right, then, you know, there's no real repercussions because you're going to be gone soon. The manager's not going to hold any authority. But what I want to do say is I actually think Watford have got this one right. I don't agree with the way that they do things by hiring and firing their manager so frequently. But just look at Hodgson. Personally, I think he's a better manager than Ranieri. Of course, Ranieri's got the fairy tale he did at Leicester. I'm not even going to for a second say it was just a fantastic fairy tale season, a one of a kind. It'll never happen again. I just think he's a better manager. And for me, when you look at Watford this season, they're actually really good going forward. They actually are really good going forward. You know, they've got some very, very good players, to be fair, who are going to hurt you going forward. You know, the likes of Dennis, King, you know, Ismail Assar and players like that. So they are a very good side going forward. Their problem has been at the back. Now, they've conceded 40 goals in 20 games. So they're on course to concede around 76, 78, 80 goals over the course of the season. That's obviously not, you know, that will get you relegated, basically. They've only scored 23, mind. I thought they would have scored more than that, but they do look very, very good going forward, I find sometimes. All you have to do is look at the game against Manchester United. You know, they've been quite poor since that game. Let's just have a look at some of their recent results. Of course, last time out, they got absolutely battered at home by Norwich, and I think we all knew after that result that Ranieri was a dead man walking. I just think defensively, just looking at that game defensively, I think, okay, one of the goals for me was a blatant foul. But they were too easy to carve open. They even scored an own goal. Some of the goals were quite similar, coming from the same side. I just think they weren't learning from the mistakes defensively. And now there's other games recently as well. I know it was in the FA Cup, but they got murdered by Leicester 4-1. And West Ham 4-1. So they are conceding far too many goals, Watford. And that is obviously a worry. Ranieri's never been renowned for his defensive qualities as a coach. So I think conceding goals was always going to happen under Ranieri. But Hodgson's one of the managers that's going to come in and he's going to shore up the defence. If you just look at the Premier League table, last time he was a manager at Crystal Palace. Of course, he left at the end of last season. Crystal Palace, over the course of the season, only conceded 66 goals. Now, that is around, 10, 12, 14 goals less to where we expect Watford to be at the end of the season. Now, I think that's exactly what he's going to do. I think he's going to come in and he's going to shore up the defence and stop them leaking so many goals. My only worry is he's not exactly renowned for free-flowing attacking football. I think there was a lot of criticism at Palace that he wasn't using players to their full potential, the attacking players. So the likes of Dennis and King and Fletcher, who we've just mentioned, and Sarr and players like that, they might play with a little bit more of some shackles on. But I think sometimes you need that to shore up the defence. I think, obviously, next time out, they've got Burnley, which is a massive game. And I'll speak as a Burnley fan. From my perspective, when Watford sacked Ranieri, I was rubbing my hands at the thought of them bringing in another inexperienced manager who'd never been in the Premier League before, you know, from a foreign league, just like they have done in the past. And I was thinking, oh, that's excellent. He's going to come in. He's not going to have a clue what to do in a Premier League relegation battle. But when you've now appointed Hodgson, I'm thinking, Watford have a chance here. Watford do have a chance. I think it's one of 4 teams. A lot of people are saying that Brentford might get dragged into it, and so will Leeds. But I think the bottom 4 are just so poor compared to the rest of them. Burnley have a few games in hand. A lot of people keep mentioning that. But I just can't see Burnley or Watford or Newcastle or Norwich winning enough games between now and the end of the season to even catch, you know, Everton. I think Everton will pull away eventually, and Leeds, and especially not Brentford because they're on 23 points and Newcastle in 18th. are on 15 points. I just can't see it's one of 4 teams for me that stays up. Is it going to be Watford? Even with Hodgson coming in and shoring up the defence, I'm not so sure. It depends who they bring in, and I'll say that for every single team in terms of transfers. It really does depend who they bring in. I'm still going to predict that Watford go down, even with Hodgson. But honestly, I think if they'd have brought Hodgson in instead of Ranieri 3 months ago, I think they'd have been Everton's position now. I think they'd have won more games. They'd have looked better at the back. Look how good of a job he did at Palace for all them years. Yes, he got criticism for not using his attacking players well enough, but he kept them in the Premier League on a shoestring budget for so long. He is so underrated as a manager, as Roy Hodgson, and I fully expect him to do well at Watford. I'm just worried for Watford's case, it is a little bit too little, too late. But yeah, a lot of people giving this managerial appointment criticism. I think he's a good one. I think he's a better manager than Ranieri, and I think he's going to shore up the defence and stop Watford being so easily beaten, because I think that's been Watford's problem. It's been when they've been beaten, it's been quite easy to beat them in certain games. They've showed a bit of character like they did away at Newcastle, but on the whole, they have been pretty poor. They're too easy to get past sometimes defensively, and I just think that Hodgson will definitely make them harder to beat. But that's it from me on this Watford chat. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. This is a brand new YouTube channel where I will be talking about all the things in the world of sport. I'll probably do a video on Everton and their search for a manager in the next couple of days, see where that is in the news. So if that is the sort of thing that you like, please hit that subscribe button and please smash the like button. It really does help out the YouTube algorithm. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.